Hello, everyone. The Boston Uprising just took the first match of the day with a clean 4-0 sweep of the Shanghai Dragons. They remain undefeated for Stage 3. I honestly don't know who is going to slow down this Uprising train. It just keeps on moving. But anyways, guys, our next match of the day is between the Houston Outlaws and the LA Valiant. Now, the last time these two teams faced off, the LA Valiant, they were able to pull off the clean 4-0 sweep. But these two teams both have been great so far in Stage 3. The Houston Outlaws, they haven't been winning all their games, but all their games have been very, very close. And I honestly don't know who is going to win this match. I have no predictions. Now, I know the guys on Watchpoint, they were pretty split on this. Monty was the only person who picked the Houston Outlaws. Everybody else picked the Valiant. And it could be anyone's game. Another fun fact, the LA Valiant, they're the home team, so their crowd is typically the loudest. But outside of the LA teams, the Houston Outlaw fans, they show up more here at the Blizzard Arena than anybody. Real talk. So you guys ready for this? Y'all ready to get it going? I think I am too, so let's go ahead and hop into the action, break this thing down with Puckett and the boys at the desk.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Malik. Keep it going for yourselves, crowd. We got an awesome crew here on Wednesday and some good games to get into. It's Puckett here at the desk, and I bought the boys from England. The Britons are here. We've got Young Brent. We've got Josh. I had to censor myself mid-sentence. Guys, how you feeling? That first series, pretty surprising to see Shanghai take a map, but now this is the one we've been talking about. Valiant going up against some stiff competition in the Houston Outlaws.
Yeah, I'm excited, Puckett. You said it yourself. This is match of the day, potentially match of the week even, so I'm expecting big things. And again, 50-50, it's going to be very close between them.
Josh, let's take a look at our Stage 3 standings because both of these teams are in the playoff hunt. Remember, now in Stage 3, we're adding a fourth team into those playoffs. That'll happen at the end of next week.
Now, it doesn't look like the Houston Outlaws would be in the running, but they have a path back here. They would have to win out. They have a pretty tough schedule moving forwards as well, but all of their games are winnable. Valiant now, Gladiators, Shock, and Dynasty. Those are four teams kind of in the mid to the top table, but if they're able to get some decent momentum here against the Valiant, they still have a shot at making it.
You look at that leaderboard, the easy games, quote unquote, out of the way now for the Outlaws. On the other side, for the Valiant, you have to be happy with your final matches, except for maybe that Week 5 matchup against the Fusion. Boston, of course, the #1 team, has to be the biggest threat on this list, but the Valiant, much better position. 5-1. Brent, do they get in?
I would argue it's even dangerous, more dangerous for Valiant here because they have to prep for both Uprising and Philadelphia in the same week. So you got to split your prep kind of evenly. And again, we've seen teams in the past, they struggle on that. They end up dropping maps against teams that they should be taking easy wins. So, I mean, Valiant, they're not out of clear just yet. It's still a shaky, rocky path ahead of them.
But if they want to make a stage playoff, it has to be this stage, I think. They don't face NYXL in Stage 3, so they have their best shot out of any of being able to get into that top 4 and potentially be able to take it. So this is Valiant's time, if any.
And the craziest part here, if you win the stage, you get to pick your opponent in that first round of the playoffs. A very cool feature added into the format. Let's talk about the Valiant squad, though. They're the favorites in this match if you look at the leaderboard, but they're coming off a loss to the London Spitfire.
Now, I thought that perhaps Valiant were a little overrated. We saw that their strength of schedule was a bit easier, and coming into the London game, I thought London are probably going to take this. I think they're on a bit of an upswing. But I think I was surprised at how close that match was. Ended up going to a 5th game, and Valiant looked pretty decent there. When London began with this 2-map lead, and then started to slow the game down a little, on Nepal, LA Valiant started getting rolling again. The Orisa Junkrat kind of compositions. The slower pace of games seemed to suit the LA Valiant a little more. And then when we went into Route 66, they had a strong performance there from their new addition, Bunny, alongside Soon. So LA Valiant have proven to me that they have the pieces to be able to make this playoff run, and enough pieces to make this an incredibly tight game.
I was just looking at the standings once again. Valiant in a comfortable position. Houston absolutely needs this match today. Bren, when we look at the map pool here, we know we're going to see Anubis. Nepal's going to be in the first half as well. How did the team stack up?
Yeah, win percentage-wise, Houston are actually holding an advantage over Valiant's head right now. Now, if you take into effect the recent games for Valiant, I feel like they might be more successful, but Anubis is the one that I'm going to be focusing on because Anubis, Nepal, Junkertown, these are maps that do favor the Houston Outlaws playstyle of Junkrat-heavy compositions. And that has always been a key win condition for Houston. Now, they've been branching out a lot more. Jake has been trying out the Tracer. He's been getting better at it from the eye test alone. I have been seeing improvements there. Sure. However, it's kind of shaky because Junkrat, again, we are in the stage where Junkrat's been nerfed, but it's looking good for Houston, I will say that much.
Anubis, they have not won this whole stage. those rankings at 33%, that's all a holdover from when they were good at it in stage 1. So unless they come out with something big on Anubis here, they're waiting until Junkertown in the 4th to be able to go onto a map that really favors them, I think.
Junkrat, Junkertown, we see it coming. Will it be in favor of Houston? Let's get the predictions today. Bren, starting with you. Are you going with the LA crowd or are you going with Houston?
I am going to be going with Houston for this one. I mean, I think the map pool, again, if we look at the historical data, what we saw earlier, it did favor Houston in that regard. Anubis is going to be shaky, but if they take that first map, it's going to be so much better for them against Valiant themselves. So I'm going to be going for Houston with this one. I feel like Jake's recent improvements as well help a lot. That is why.
Josh, your scowl during this gave me a good idea where you're going. Let's make it official, the prediction today.
Yes, Valiant, they performed pretty well against the London Spitfire. I'm going to stick with those guys in this match. I think Junkertown, Houston, hands down, best team in the world at the moment. Maybe Boston's up there as well. But if they're able to, if Valiant are able to come away with a win on Nepal or take it to a 5th, I think they've got the series here.
Los Angeles, are you guys ready to start this party? Yep. All right, me too. It's time. Let's bring out our first team to the stage. Please give it up for the Los Angeles Valiant. Hometown squad sitting at 2nd place currently here in stage 3 at 5-1 record, 16-10 overall. Now they've got all the pieces they need. They brought in Custa. Space is 18. He's been in every starting lineup, and this squad is having nothing but success.
Yeah, very impressive run by Valiant because mainly due to these new recent additions, and it has, again, sort of revamped this team up. Space is bringing so much more to the team now, really filling in the gaps that Envy was missing in a lot of regards. And of course, they also have Bunny that they can sub in when they're doing specific strategies and tactics, but in this case, it is going to be soon starting. They always start soon on Anubis, and it has worked out for them. They have a ridiculous win percentage when it comes to that first map.
Yeah, this is a really interesting match between Valiant and Houston as well. They've only played once before, and it was Valiant that walked away with a 4-0 victory. That was at the lowest point, really, of the Houston Outlaws. And Agility's coming back into the lineup. I know that when we went to Volskaya, another assault map previously against the London Spitfire, we were criticizing their use of Genji Tracer. But on Anubis, you have to run these two guys. You need Soon in there, you need Agilities. Point A, you have to run the Genji to be able to get them on the flank to break that really strong hold, and then you need Agility's Junkrat. So I think this is correct decision-making in terms of the roster here.
Very successful so far on this map. Will they get another win on Anubis? That's your starting 6 for the Valiant. It's time to introduce their opponents on the right side of the stage. Let's hear it for the Houston Outlaws. Just 3-3 here at stage 3. We know they got the superstar power. You got Linkster who can pop off at any moment. One of the best tanks in the game in Muma. And Jake, he's going to have his hands full today going up against the likes of Soon and Agilities. When you look at this squad, though, and you know their troubles in this map for game 1, who is going to be the key to victory if you're going to topple guys like Soon and Agilities on Anubis?
For me, it's got to be Jake, I think, that I'm looking at, because previously in stage 1, when this team was great at Anubis, it was because the Riptires he was coming out with were hitting multiple people. And now the other teams, when they're going up against Jake, have figured that this is a big issue. They're giving him a lot more respect whenever that ultimate comes out, really focusing it down. So they've got to work around that. If it buys you a lot of space, if it buys you a lot of time, then go aggressive alongside that Riptire and make sure that you're capitalizing on it.
I would make the argument that it is a whole team issue that they need to really sort out. Anubis in particular, because again, it's sort of dive has been one of the weakest points for Houston Outlaws. They're definitely more comfortable on these slow spam compositions. So if they can sort out that aspect of it, you know, when they're running Jake on rolls he's uncomfortable with, Anubis should be looking a lot better in theory. But overall, this is a squad that we were talking about as one of the best squads in stage 1. So we know the talent is there. We know that they are more than capable of taking wins against top teams, which means we are going to be seeing, realistically, a very exciting match between them.
Brett, you said that if Houston wins this first map, they win the whole thing. If they lose Anubis, do they still win it?
There's certainly potential there. I mean, it's going to be very tough for them, but Anubis, that's the gateway map.
All right, that is a look at your starting 12 here on the main stage. Make some noise as we send it over to our casters. Bring me the action. It's Monty with Doa.
Did you just say bring me the action? We're not the ones bringing the action, Bucket. It's going to be the teams on the stage right now.
I will judge the action that is being brought.
I can bring some action, I suppose. But it's kind of a out of left field demand from Bucket, though. Bring me the action. Wow.
He always expects his action just served up on a silver platter to him.
That's right. He's like, you know, a Roman emperor at the games, you know. There's not enough blood and guts in the arena. He's like, bring me the action. And he sips his beverage and gets the, you know.
Noah doesn't know what they drank in ancient Rome, is what I just learned.
It's probably LaCroix, right?
Yeah.
That's what everybody's drinking nowadays, right? Ancient stuff made from real water.
And speaking of
I
ancient
think.
things, how about Egypt?
Oh, well, I mean, that's not ancient at all. There's like robot statues there, so way to fail that one.
Oh.
Monte Cristo. Here we go. Temple of Anubis. And it's kind of like the desk said. Houston really does need to win this one to get the ball rolling, but it's probably Valiant's best map in this series.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, they just came off their first loss on Anubis to the LA Gladiators last week. And conversely, even though Houston lost this map to Florida, their attack was looking a lot stronger. We were starting to see improved dive, Tracer Genji dive out of the Houston Outlaws. So I think there's stuff they can do here. Both of these teams also really like to play a Tracer Junkrat defense on point B, which isn't wholly unique, but is a bit of an outlier compared to other teams. But when you have a player like Jake, it makes sense for Houston, but having Agilities be there on the same page with the Junkrat defense, I think is a bit interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun matchup. For sure. And with Valiant, I mean, you know, like you just mentioned, they just had their first loss. It was a close match against the Gladiators. So the perpetual question with Stage 3 is just how good are these guys actually? And I think no doubt they are a good team, but what are the limits, right? How high is the skill cap there? And oh, I love that tricky spray to kind of make somebody think there's a trap there sometimes.
Yeah, and exactly. They put the real trap on the other side. So a lot of times you see a trap mine on this side to catch a Genji or someone else trying to make it past the gap to get in and flank around. But this trap may actually catch somebody now if they're not looking very closely. So this is already clever from the Houston Outlaws.
Yeah, you see people do that a lot with Junkrat. It's like the only spray in the game that you can use to kind of fake people out with.
Yeah, Soon already in though, so he's not actually going to go through, but Fate will be headshot right as he leaps forward.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. So right now, Valiant kind of over in that little room a little bit on their own. Agilities does get the DMEC onto Cool Matt, so they are evening things out a little bit here.
Yeah, the rest of the team wasn't actually supporting Cool Matt on the flank, so he was easily DMEC'd.
Well, speaking of flanking, Soon is over there. A chance here for Linkser. But no, Soon coming in. Oh, Space gets Muma though at the same time. Houston Outlaws losing a big tank on defense. And now Linkser on the run. Fate does get taken out again by Raucus right after he comes back, but Custa there with the res. Raucus down, and Houston kind of on the run here. There's another DMEC on the Cool Mat, and Agilities is going to be able to maybe help Valiant take the point right here and then have a Dragon Blade for point B. This is going to be a lot of momentum for Valiant.
I don't know what was happening to Cool Matt in the side room while he was delaying the Valiant, but that is a massive mistake from the Houston Outlaws, allowing him to get DMEC'd for free without any backup.
Well, he got DMEC'd twice pretty quickly, once at the beginning of each of those fights. So I wonder if it's just maybe a bit of focus from the Valiant. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it looked like it was a communication error from the Houston Outlaws, but in any case, Jake now with the Riptire should be able to delay this for a bit. Even through that Transcendence, she'll still should have an opportunity. Falcon's going to be used immediately.
Bonnie down already. There goes Muma. Great start for Valiant here on the point B attack. Agilities making that blade work, and Soon with the cleanup. Here comes the Riptire, though. Jake needs a big one. Delaying, waiting for people to come back. Gets the DMEC onto Space. And now with the respawns coming in, maybe Houston can turn this one around. They do get the kill on Space, but they lose Raucus right away. Finally get Kareev, though, and yeah, it looks like Houston should be able to push them back unless Soon goes crazy here. Nope, he's not. He's just going to go back to spawn.
Yeah, great timing on the retake from the Houston Outlaws. They did force a lot of ultimates out of the Valiant, but the Valiants are going to be happy with that. They nearly got the point. Cap did get 2 ticks, having the initial push on the strength of that snowball.
Well, I mean, we knew they were going to come into this with a lot of momentum, and I mean, that's about as much as you can get with that momentum without actually taking the point, just straight up.
Outlaws do stabilize. Good communication there to make sure that they were waiting just as long as they possibly could to get back on the point. It's going to be a real trick, however, with Soon constantly threatening this back cap for them not to give up that final tick.
Yep. You really can't let the Valiant have any time at all on point B if you're the Houston Outlaws right now.
And they're slowly pushing them out. I mean, it's going back up again, Doa.
Yeah, Transcendence coming in to keep people healed, but it doesn't keep Muma alive. That's crucial. They do cover Bonnie to get the res at least with that, but Bonnie really low. Agility's down via the Riptire. Bonnie somehow stays alive through that, and it will be Houston pushing back the Valiant again.
Houston doing Nice work. Just staggering themselves on the point, trying to find the perfect moments to engage.
I mean, it's been a kind of a razor's edge for these guys on B, but they're making it work for now. But over 4.5 minutes to go. It's going to be tough.
And we're coming back up on double ults again with the Dragon Blade compared to just having the Valkyrie from Benny. Fortunately, though, the self-destruct and the Primal should be able to hold on. That's a nice initial pick to get up. They will get the res.
Yep, but now the res is down for the fight. Not a huge disadvantage, but a little bit of one to consider. Kind of tough to get those reses off on point B anyway, because everything is so close together. But now the Dragon Blade comes out. Agilities gets one onto Jake, two onto Raucus, and there's just seemingly no defense for Houston. Ooh, the Mercy nearly cut down as well. Agility's out of the Dragon Blade. Now Transcendence comes in from Karib, but it's a short-handed fight. They do kill Linkser as well. Fanny gets the res onto Linkser here. Houston trying to defend, but they keep losing people. Valiant nearly has this one already. They lost Custa, or Karib and Custa though, so no supports. Jake down. Valiant trying to push it, but it looks like Houston, ooh, can they hold? They're so close. Only Coolmat on the point right now. Muma's there, he's just come back. Oh, but he jumps all the way over. Not sure if he got booped or just missed that one. Fate, meanwhile, pops the Primal Rage. They only have to just push people off for a second.
Yeah, but they lost both supports,
That's
Noah,
not
so
gonna
the
happen,
Primal Rage actually is a misplay there. The supports are just only getting back now. They could have just died, saved the Primal Rage for the next engagement. Instead, Houston has an opportunity to farm off of that, farm ult charge off of the Primal Rage instead. So that's actually not the greatest. I mean, Valiant came in and they wanted to push the advantage onto the supports, but it should be the next fight they were looking at. I think they overcommitted. Agility's already with another Dragon Blade, though.
Huma got dove there, too. He had to back away. Linkser coming in from the side. If he can get a good pulse bomb on the flank, that can help Houston hold for a bit longer. They've eaten up a lot of time off the time bank already. Things like that pick on the Soon certainly do help. Linkser rejoining his team there. Waiting for this kill onto Fate. Fate slow, they got him. Valiant falling apart a little bit here. There goes Agilities, but, you know, still over 2.5 minutes to go. So Valiant still has time, and, you know, we know Valiant, right? You can never count these guys out because what they can get done in overtime is just kind of crazy sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely is, but they have been struggling since they came in with the initial large advantage in the ult economy.
Yeah.
Houston's been managing their ults better. You see the sequencing is there for them, and they use that Primal and the self-destruct very well. Valiant needs to work on their target selection also.
Now Karib down. They're going to have to work on their short-handed fighting for now. Zenyatta, Linkser taken out. Now it's even up, 5v5. But Houston's still kind of zoning Valiant out. They don't want to go for this one, and you know, we know Houston is a much stronger team defensively than offensively, and they're certainly showing it now. That self-destruct doesn't catch anybody. And here comes a Riptire. Agility's on the run as Jake chases him down. Doesn't get anything out of that one, though. Soon taken out. Custa got the kill into Jake, actually, taking advantage of the fact that Junkrat is immobile during the ultimate. Agility's trying to chase down Bonnie a little bit. Now another blade comes out from the Genji one more time. It's batted away by Muma in the Primal Rage, but that's a lot of kills for Houston, and they're still going to keep Valiant on the ropes here.
And speaking of
30.
Yeah, having that ult economy, that was a great job by the Houston Outlaws. Basically, Agility's tried to scare the ult out of Raucus, but Banny was on point, doubled back to heal him, and so they got a lot more value out of the Transcendence when the Dragon Blade was already falling away. So now Valiant definitely in a tricky position here. A lot of those support ults having been used already, and you've got a Primal and Pulse Bomb on attack, which are not ideal ultimates to continue and make this a big push onto the point.
You know, even if Valiant do take the point right now, Houston has put together a pretty incredible defense already.
Linkser's
eat up
incredible.
like 5 minutes off the clock already. Fate down, there goes Linkser. 5v5 again, but it's Valiant, the ones who are missing that big tank.
Nobody's going to be able to resurrect, and that means that the Valiants are going to fall back one more time. Soon is lurking on the flank. He's going to find Linkser, forces the recall early, but there's not going to be anyone to follow up before he gets the cooldown again.
Right. And Karib and Custa, very close to having 2 support ultimates right now. Custa's got his, but they lose Agilities. Where's the res? Can they res him?
No.
I don't think so, no. All right, so they have to wait. And now just about 15 seconds remaining. They need to get back in a hurry if they want to try to take this one. They've got ultimates, but Houston has a good amount themselves. Soon down. Oh, what a big pick for Linkser. That is actually huge. They're going to have to fight a 5v6, and now the Riptire could make it even worse for Valiant. Looking for that Mercy. They're chasing him out. What a zoning Riptire by Jake. It works great. They keep Cust away, but now the Transcendence comes in with Kareev, and Agilities has one last Dragon Blade to try to put together a win here on B for Valiant, but it's going to be tough. Has to get away from that self-destruct, dodges over the wall, goes back in again. Another self-destruct from the Valiant side keeps Houston penned up for the moment here. Remember, they just need that one tick. Raucous down. Overtime, deep into it now, but Valiant starting to pull ahead in this fight. Linkser has a bit of health left to use. Kareev down, that's one support taken out. Soon getting the Mercy healing, but he gets trapped in the Junkrat tab. Nobody's there to finish him off. He stays alive. Space down via Jake, though. Got him with the post-death passive bombs, actually. Matt and Bonnie out of commission, so Valiant not out of the fight just yet. Agility's trying to put this team on his back and carry him, but the respawns are going to be so good for Houston. People coming back really quick, and even with just a tick remaining, they might be able to defend. Muma, Primal Rage, trying to use it to just push Valiant off, and they do.
And that's a great defense by the Houston Outlaws, Doa. I'm not sure what happened on A when Coolmac got demeched, but ever since that point, it's been Houston with great use of their ult economy, and they nearly got snowballed on, managed to stop it, and then prevented another tick from ever happening for the rest of the round. So Houston, given how they looked on attack last week, I think you have to be optimistic coming into their attack round. They've been mixing it up a little bit more. They've been playing the Genji Tracer dive compositions pretty well as a team.
Sure. And I mean, that's right, hashtag JKrat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was him, but it was also the other members of the team using the ultimates so efficiently to just kind of grind that one out. That was near 6 minutes that they had to hold that point.
And you don't have to get anything done with the Riptire. The Riptire at the end was so good because it wasted a lot of time on the Valkyrie.
Just pushed Custa back all the way across the map.
Pushed Custa back, but it also forced the ult out of the Zenyatta too.
Yeah,
so
true.
Kareev had to ult just to get to the point because they were so far away because they were trying to deal with the Riptire. So even though they don't get a kill off of it, it's not flashy. It's a great zoning mechanism, and it got them time and forced other ults that weren't directly pressured out by the Riptire.
Yep. So about 30 seconds now until Houston Outlaws are able to commence their attack here on Temple of Anubis. And we've got that Junkrat defense from Valiant, which, you know, is not surprising. Agilities, much like Jake, definitely prefers the Junkrat. Ah! Oh no! Oh, goodness gracious.
You'll never
terrifying.
You'll never be that close to a gorilla again.
I can never go to the zoo again, or a colony on the moon. Man, they do that to us.
Well, Houston going to be running the dive. We'll see if it is as successful for them as they looked right out of the gates playing against Florida.
Yep. All right, that low ground defense with that Junkrat soon. Staying safe, up on the high ground. Ooh, the reflector's down. Can he get the Genji? Nice shots on Amuma. Agilities finishes him off with the concussion mine. And a good start for Valiant. There goes Jake, a better start for Valiant. The Halt nearly bringing a shot into the scope of Soon.
Yeah, Soon's been so good on the Widowmaker recently, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Made his name earlier in his career on the Tracer play, but his adaptations have been excellent as this Valiant team has added additional high-skill DPS player. Muma gonna drop the barrier already destroyed.
Yeah. Oh, he took a big headshot too from Soon.
Well, Matt and Jake are on the left flank here in the upper hallways. And we do have the Genji, Mercy, and Winston on the right flank. So they're going to try and execute a pincer attack.
Yeah, Soon backing off. They're going to keep chasing, and Linkser gets two. Jake gets one as well. Good start for Houston. Great start, in fact, as they've only lost Muma. Linkser picks up another one on the DMEC from Space. Space not going to last too much longer, and finally, Fate goes down. It's a very quick point A for Houston. And just like that.
Agilities did get the Riptire, though, from all of that spam. And this was just a beautiful attack here. This is how you do it. To play attack with the dive composition on Anubis, you identify when people have used their movement abilities, and then you go after the single targets. That's just a fantastic execution. Can't really argue with what the Houston Outlaws did there, and now they have plenty of time to cap the second point.
And Valiant did too, but Houston was able to hold. We'll see if Valiant can recreate a similar thing. Agility's Riptire coming in and gets run over by Coolman. He actually charged through it. Wow, I thought cutting it with the Dragon Blade was bold, but You're just like, I'm going to take out that exploding tire with my body.
Yeah, he did it, and now they're in big trouble. Look at these ults on the Houston Outlaws. The Valiant had to make that tire work. This is really dangerous for the Valiant right now.
We talked about momentum in the last attack. They've got it in spades on the Houston Outlaws side. Linkser brings in the Dragon Blade. No kills with that one yet. Now he gets Fate. Trying to finish everybody off. That's going to be 2 ticks already. Valiant getting slaughtered right now. They're trying to desperately get back on the point. Custa's got the Valkyrie out, but Houston has not lost anyone yet. Pulse Bomb comes in, zones a bit, draws the Transcendence out from Kareev. They can just wait that one out. Houston with Houston with Ultimates to spare right now. Now using their own Transcendence, Muma pops that Primal Rage. Jake down though, soon trying to equalize. Here comes a tire from Agilities. That could change things, but no, he's only going to get the DMEC on Coolmat. That said, it may be enough.
I think it is going to be enough to
they were so close.
A very similar situation.
Yep.
84.2% to the 92.4% of the Valiant. Valiant barely holding on, but they managed to make it work.
Less than 10% separate these two teams, and it really did come down to those big first attacks for these guys as well. So now Houston finds themselves in the exact same situation that the Valiant were in.
Yeah, this is a very interesting map already. First Riptire from Agilities wasn't great, but the rest of his team makes up for it on the defense, barely getting Custa's Valkyrie up in time for the defense.
Yep. Soon lurking, Linkser's gonna take the fight. Soon runs back to point B, wants to get that Orb of Harmony. No Harmony involved though, as he's still fighting out that 1v1 with Jake. Jake's got the health pack though, so Soon has to back away. Yeah, that's gonna be about it. All right, Dragon Blade time. Here we go, Linkser pulls it out, going in. 2 kills already. Well, just the mech, and now it's gonna be 2 kills. Custa, he gets back to spawn. That's big, but it doesn't matter. They were off the point, and Houston just sits there and takes it.
Soon was just a little bit off the point on the other side.
Whoops.
The Dragon Blade does its work because 4 of the members of the LA Valiant were in the back corner.
Yeah.
And now the Houston Outlaws are going to take Anubis, a map they started 3-6 on and was statistically the Valiant's best map in this pool.
I mean, that was huge. Huge to take that map. The implications are crazy now. And the thing is, Valiant 4-0'd them last time these teams met in stage 2. Houston saying, not this time. We'll see if they can keep the momentum going on our second map right after we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
Hello and once again, welcome back everyone. Map number 1 just finished and we're about to head on to map number 2. But before the players from the Valiant walked onto the stage, I had a very quick chat with players soon about today's map pool. I had to inquire since we do have Anubis, Nombani, as well as Junkertown in the map pool, which all are very, let's just say, Junkrat friendly maps. So soon agreed, like, yeah, given that Houston Outlaws have their very own J-Grads, this may or may not actually give them the edge tonight in the games. But then Costa chimed in from behind and was just saying like, no, but it won't. We have Agilities, who is just as good, if not better than Jake, and the whole team had to nod in agreement. So there was a lot of confidence from the LA Valiant heading into this game tonight. However, that first map went in favor of the Houston Outlaws. So let's see if they can continue the momentum or if Valiant can bring it back. Map number 2, so Monty, Doa, please take it away.
Thank you, Zoe. It is time to start looking ahead to map number 2. It's going to be Blizzard World, and this is, of course, our newest map in the map pool. Going to be cool to see. And speaking of cool things to see, you said that Houston's defense on this map was impressive to you.
Yeah, and one thing about Houston is that their tracers are still relatively low tier when we look at statistical categories, but the eye test says they're looking a lot better, and it's for plays like this. This is against them against the Florida Mayhem last week. You'll notice the tracer, Linkser is actually in the corner now, and they are going to get flanked on the low ground, so they don't check the corner. And then there's Jake's Junkrat shooting through the choke point, and look how fast he's going to charge this Riptide. He's already at 85%, 25 seconds into this match. And this is just a total disaster for the Florida Mayhem as they come into this point. Sure, they're going to charge a lot of Moira charge, but you'll trade that fast Riptire for that every time. And when we talk about the tracers from the Houston Outlaws, like I said, the eye test says they're looking better, which is why statistically it was a bit surprising to find that they're still towards the lower end of things. But a lot of it has been more creative strategies, traps like we're seeing, great communication. And we saw that on their dives on the last map, particularly on point A of Anubis. They really look like they're all on the same page right now.
Yeah, that's right. They need to be. Like the desk was talking about. This is the time when Houston really needs to start winning and winning hard if they want to have any shot at all of getting to the stage playoffs. And looking ahead to the overall league playoffs too, pretty much every game from here on out is really, really vital for a team like Houston that's kind of in the middle there a little bit.
Yeah, and likewise, on the other side of that coin, it's not so valuable for the Valiant. Like, because the desk has said this a million times, because they don't play New York, because they've already accrued 5 wins, it's going to be very difficult for them not to make the stage playoffs. So we may see more experimentation from them as a result, but that has been, I guess, tough on them, at least in that first match. Houston, I think, pretty thoroughly outclassed the Valiant on Anubis.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, while we wait for the players to get set up on stage, let's take a moment and learn a little bit more about our resident Houston Diva main, Cool Matt.
Cool Matt, Houston Outlaws, off tank. Indiana, there's really not much besides corn, and if you don't like corn, then there's video games.
There's one of the best divas on the planet, and Cool Matt.
I figured, like, what would a little kid make their first gamer tag, and so I thought that would be perfect for me.
His hair defies gravity, by the way. It's phenomenal. How does it do that?
Favorite hero is Diva. You can choose to be really aggressive, really defensive. All of your abilities are super impactful.
Matt drops a bomb over top and takes down 2.
I think our rival is probably Dallas Fuel. We both come from the same state, and we want to be like the top contender for that state. Throughout the season, I think we're going to see a narrative form between the two of us.
You guys ready for the Battle of Texas?
Personal goals, I want to keep growing as a player, and our team goal is only to win.
There he is on your screen, Cool Matt, Houston Outlaws Diva. His hair not quite as tall today as we're used to, but maybe that just means he's getting serious, right? See, the energy, it's kind of like a camel has like, water stored in its hump, right? For hydration. Like, Cool Matt actually has like power and like energy stored.
He has skill stored in his hair.
He's got a skill reserve. And so when he needs some extra skill, which maybe it took a little extra to get that win over Valiant in map number 1, the hair, shrinks a little bit. It decreases in size because some of that strength is being drawn back inside of it. There you go. Scientific explanation for why they did so well on Anubis. I'm the real analyst here, let's be honest.
Speaking of other cool Matt facts, he's actually one of the oldest players in the league at 28 also. So he does serve as more of the aged, wizened voice, if we could say that, at 28.
He's practically the Deckard King of Overwatch League. That's true, except he's not dead. Oh, spoiler alert if you haven't played Diablo 3 since like 2012 when it came out, or whenever it was.
What's the limitation on spoilers? Like
I don't know.
2 years?
I don't know,
3
man.
years?
Napoleon lost. Spoiler. I think that one may be past the statute of limitations here. It looks like we're getting ready to get into our matches. Finally, we had to swap a few things out because there's a couple swaps happening on the Valiant side on the stage. Let's check it out. Who are our subs? There it is. We've got the one, the only Bunny subbing in for Soon. And one more. A face we have not seen yet in the Overwatch League. It's KSF coming in for Agility. He's one of the Valiant's newer pickups here, projectile DPS player.
Yeah, he was pulled up from Contenders, and this is going to be his first time on the Overwatch League stage. First time playing professionally here in Burbank, and it will be interesting to see what they have in store for us, because this is a very heavily Widowmaker-dominated point B, and maybe he'll be able to switch over to that Widowmaker. It's going to be unclear what his hero pool will be at the professional level of competition.
You know, one does wonder. I'm curious. You know, in Valiant, of course, a match that they would certainly like to win. They want to keep that momentum going, want to keep sort of fighting for that chance to maybe take first place. You're in stage 3. It's going to be hard to knock it away from Boston, but they've got a shot. There's some probes. They're not mining anything. Somebody forgot to send them to start after the game began. I hate it when that happens, you know? Although now they go automatically.
Maybe they're just long distance mining from a mineral patch that's far away because they didn't have enough minerals to build another Nexus Star.
Then you should already have one built, man. That's basic StarCraft economy.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it doesn't work that way, and you get to these like life or death endgame situations where you just have to distance mine.
I suppose. You know, sometimes if you're playing a game with 8 people, you're playing Protoss, and they're going to kill you, like, oh no, leave me a pylon so I can still watch the game. Like way back in StarCraft 1.
That was great.
So they do that, but then you secretly spread your probes across the map and secretly rebuild, and then come on them with like a ton of carriers at the same time, like 4 control groups, and then you laugh. And your friends never let you have a pylon again in the game.
Sounds like you just played yourself, though,
for
a cheap thrill.
College experience. Here we go. Valiant on the attack here on Blizzard. We're looking to tie things up against the Outlaws and their new additions. We'll see what they've got.
And they are going to be playing the Tracer Junkrat defense again, the Houston Outlaws. If Linkser is not going to be lurking there again, he's going to be coming around on the flank. They're going to try and catch them actually in the same choke point. Do make it through the doorway, unlike the Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, Bunny's still in the back lines dueling with Linkser, though, in the meantime. But Banny getting a little bit low, gets back to his team. But Houston doing a decent job of zoning Valiant away here. Valiant, though, they're getting a little bit of time on the point. They've nearly got 1 tick. They do have 1 tick already. And Coolmat really low, man. He needs to sit back and get some Zen healing. Custa down, though. So Linkser bringing it back. And there's Muma with the kill on KSF as well. So Houston turning this fight back around to their favor. And I don't think Valiant can keep this one going. They get 2 ticks. Did they get that second one?
No, they did not.
Ah, not quite. Ooh, so close.
Just barely, 64.9%, not getting the second tick. Houston stepping back on.
Oh, dear.
In the nick of time, Kareev is going to have to fade out of this one. Does have the Coalescence already, but then split spawned. And with Custa on the Lucio, there's not going to be an opportunity for a resurrection.
Wow, that's just going to take more time off the clock for the LA Valiant. And you don't want to have to wait that long. Everybody back in action now, and see what they've got planned for their second attack. They could just kind of follow a similar path, but now you've got Linkser there with the Pulse Bomb.
Does complicate things.
It's going to get riskier.
They're just going to run straight onto the point.
Wow, all right. They're just bull rushing it here. Jake pops the tire, but doesn't get any kills from it. Oh, Linkser does find Kareev, though. And there's another kill into Custa. Linkser just decides to annihilate both supports all on his own. And that's going to be another easy hold for the Houston Outlaws.
And one thing about that Coalescence, you're not going to be fading out of a Pulse Bomb in that case. So Linkser finds himself an easy target, trades ult for ult, his ult getting significantly more value.
I mean, when you've got that Coalescence coming in there, you know, as space, you need to be ready to protect your protect your Moira, because like you said, you can't fade out.
Oh boy.
Now he's going down again, but
I mean,
the Moira's become a liability for Valiant at this point.
the staggers have been brutal, and Custom won't switch off because he's so close to the sound barrier, but when you're not running the Mercy, these are the situations you run into. If you do get staggered outside of a main choke point by the Junkrat, there's no easy resurrection.
Kareev not switching, though. He's just going to go with that Moira anyway.
They're going to come back in with a Sound Barrier and a Dragon Blade and see if they can brute force this, but they've lost a lot of time.
I mean, Kareev's orb is still on cooldown as they go in. He only has half his healing, too. This is a bad spot for the Moira. They're going to have to use the Sound Barrier. They do get Jake, so maybe they can turn this one around here, but a lot of damage coming in. Bonnie down. Linkser does get Kareev, but Houston's lost quite a few, but now no more supports for Valiant. It's a bit of a brawl. They are getting some time on the point. Haven't quite gotten that second tick just yet. Jake holding strong on point A, and now under a minute remaining for the Valiant. That was just, I mean, from the Moira side, that was just a rough time to come into that one.
Yeah, they have to wait for the remainder of the reinforcements from the Outlaws, though. It's 5 members of the Valiant who are there. Now the Houston Outlaws finally going back to full strength.
Yep, that's right. Coalescence used by the Valiant, trying to push their way onto the point right now. KSF has his blade ready to go too if he wants to use it. They gotta dodge the Tire. Tire coming in, he gets KSF. Oh man, he was just waiting for it. KSF was drawn right into that situation. Now Valiant fighting for their lives here, but they lose the mech. Both sides losing their Diva mechs, in fact. Muma diving in, getting the healing from Bonnie, who popped that Valkyrie here. Houston still holding, and there goes Fate. It looks like Houston going to be putting together nearly a full hold here, only giving up those 2 ticks, and I don't think Valiant can take this one.
They're not going to. KSF is back right now, but it's just a DPS and Kareev.
I mean, he's got no blade. Kareev is kind of on his own there. They're trying to buy time, space, and Fate nearly there. Overtime ticking. Can they get there? No, they can't. And a great hold from Houston. The defensive efforts from these guys today have been looking pretty stellar.
Yeah, a lot of credit to the DPS of the Outlaws. Linkser killing Kareev over and over again. The staggers also caused by the Junkrat onto the Moira. Super good from Houston, and got so much time off the clock, leaving Valiant with only a couple of attacks to really make it work. And Jake held his Riptire until the sound barrier was off. That gave him the opportunity to kill the Genji KSF when he came in with the blade.
I mean, the Moira works if you're running in as a ball like that. You kind of thrive in chaos where everyone else has to pay attention to the other members of your team. But if there's not that pressure and you're running the Moira, if they see you use the Fade, it's so easy to diver. And in Coalescence, of course, too, if you can come up behind him and stick a grenade to him, that helps too.
I just think
it gets tough to run it.
I totally agree, and I think that the Houston Outlaws are excellent at playing around these Moira compositions because they're so good at charging Riptire off of it and protecting Jake while he just gets Riptire after Riptire.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm not quite sure why you'd run a comp that makes you run in as a group when you know there's going to be like the league's best Junkrat on the other side.
I think that there may have been logic behind it because they actually did play Tracer Widow defense in their last attempt at this, which
fair enough.
The Death Ball comp definitely could have worked better on. But then the question obviously becomes, why don't you change?
Exactly, yeah. Why don't you just swap it up then? Yeah. Pretty much. Well, Houston Outlaws have given themselves a pretty easy task, theoretically, to go up 2-0 in this series. All they need to do is take just over 2 ticks on point A, and they'll have 1 Blizzard World, and they'll be up 2-0 going into the half. And, you know, again, after getting 4-0'd by the Valiant in Stage 2, that's got to feel pretty good.
I'm sure it does. Bunny is going to be lurking in that same corner that we saw Linkser in. That little clip before the game. Maybe they will pass him by. Linkser on the Widowmaker right now. They know they only need those 2 ticks. 1 pickoff on a Widowmaker could set them up for success. KSF will be on the Sombra.
Lost and found. Cool Matt going through there. Over the left side near the Fargo Deep Mine. Trying to find a shot for Linkser on this Widowmaker. Gets 1, but no kills, no headshot anyway.
Yeah, they're trying to flush them out into the open, and there it is.
There we go. That's a great start now for Houston. Kareev picked off immediately. No res coming in just yet. They're going to go for it now.
Nice body block.
Yeah, great body block actually from Fate to set that one up. But there's still 1 tick taken already by Houston. So even if they get pushed off now, that's a successful attack.
Coolman is going to be stunned out of, or hacked out of his mech rather. So this slow roll hasn't really worked, but now it will.
Dear.
Linkser with a quick 2K.
All right, Linkser's like, you know what?
I'm tired of this.
Blizzard World. Yeah, let's move on to halftime here because I don't think there's any chance for Valiant to hold this one now. There goes Space. And it's only a matter of seconds. Kareev is the only one close enough to the point. He's not going to get there. Yep. That's going to be Houston Outlaws taking the 2-0 so far in this series. Some pretty spectacular defensive play from these guys and putting themselves in the position to not really need to have a tough attack to win a map.
Just judged on their own rights, the Houston Outlaws look so good about managing their ult economy, managing their dives and their target selection today that Valiant, even though they're playing pretty well, there are just too many holes that they're leaving open for the Houston Outlaws to exploit.
Sure enough, that was a great kill on KSF though. They baited him right in there. Well guys, when we come back, the desk is going to break down the first 2 maps. Don't go anywhere, we'll see you then.
There's the Moira behind our point. We're killing Lucio first. Moira on point, or behind point. She stacks. You have me? She stacks 1-1.
They're a Tracer on point.
Dead.
Goes Genji.
Regroup.
Yeah,
Texas hard. Regroup on point. That's it.
Genji in.
She still stacks. Dead. Moira stacks. Gonna touch right now. Stacks.
Nice.
Clean. Let's get him. Welcome to the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
The Valiant came into today's matchup as the favorite, but so far, it's Houston. All day, they're up 2-0 at the half after taking over on Blizzard World. Welcome back, everybody. Just as Bren and I predicted, Houston is crushing. I'm your host, Puckett, alongside Bren in the very wrong Sideshow, at least through 2 games. Sideshow, okay. You said, what's going on, LA? You guys seem to be hating me. Every time you put your faith in LA, something goes wrong. What's going wrong for them so far?
So far, a lot of different things, particularly on Blizzard World. They had a pretty shocking attempt there. First time that we've seen KSF in the lineup. What a brutal opening to the Overwatch League as well. But even on Anubis, they looked like they were falling to pieces at certain times. Their ult economy a little all over the place. And the Houston Outlaws have stepped up. So very much not what I was expecting from this match so far. The Houston Outlaws have fixed a lot of issues that they had previously on Anubis.
Hey, look how much time is on the clock here. Over 6:30 was left to attack point B for the Valiant, and Houston held them the entirety of that.
Really just superior ult economy in my mind. And by ult economy, if you're new to Overwatch and you don't really know what that term means, it's essentially meaning you're using your ultimates at the most optimal time. So you're never really wasting them, never using too many in a team fight. And Houston were very good at this in this series so far. They've been very effective at really mitigating a lot of the pushes by the Valiant. You see a lot of the blades by Agilities actually didn't get too much value. There was only really one attempt that really was successful, and even then, Houston managed just to stall it out. But Blizzard World was really when they slammed it home.
There were 0 successful attempts on Blizzard World from LA Valiant, and we saw KSF for the first time, wondering why he was put into the game. Probably a hero pool thing, not too sure. Guy plays a Genji, but so does Agilities, but he also plays a Sombra. Don't know whether he's as good at the Widowmaker to the point where you'd want to run him.
Yeah.
Also plays a Roadhog, so we're still learning about this player.
We only got to see him for like 4.5 minutes.
That's the trouble,
Yeah.
isn't it? That's the trouble, because we speculate that he's got a bigger hero pool, but we're not too sure because we didn't see them get past point A on Blizzard World. So, you know, it's a bit tricky.
They kept running the same play over and over on Blizzard World as well with that Moira and that Lucio, and it just wasn't working. So they need to diversify the strategies there.
Junkrat's going to be there to shut you down. Well, Sideshow, as we watch the action, at times it can get really chaotic. You got a specific moment we're going to slow down. What do you got for us today in our Insights powered by Intel?
So in this Insights powered by Intel, I'm going to try and explain to you what's different between the Houston Outlaws compared to normal. Because when they were playing against the Florida Mayhem, they lost Anubis. And it's basically Linkser for me. He is the linchpin of why they've improved. So you can see him here on the Genji, and he was not playing Genji in their previous matchup. He was on the Tracer instead, and that was Jake's job. So you can see that he's been able to get in on the left-hand side there, and he's going to come and try and have his flank around. Kareev has been posted up on this archway over here, and it is going to be on Jake and Coolmat, who are going to come through this avenue all the way around to try and execute a flank attempt over there. And so they're going to combine those two attempts so that there's a dive coming in from this kind of side and a dive coming in from the other. And
your pen's not working.
My pen is
I like
not working.
the attempt.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
So you can see Linkser comes in from the top here and gets a flanking angle. This distracts Agilities. And so Agilities, when you're playing on this front platform, needs to be very aggressive. Because if you let Houston get in position, they're going to be in have a great opportunity to set up their dive. They bait Space in over at the top there, and instantly, as soon as Space is out of position, onto Kareev they go. Instant pick onto Kareev, real textbook dive attempt, and then Linkser follows up with another play onto Soon. And they crush this, again with the Houston Outlaws. And Linkser being able to pick up this Genji has allowed them, and it's so weird actually, because previously we were giving Linkser the excuse, you know, Tracer, it's so good, it's such a high skill hero. Genji, such a high skill hero. Widow as well. There are very few people, basically nobody, who can play all three of those heroes at an absolute elite level.
Yeah, and it really comes down as well. In the pre-show, I said, if Houston are going to be taking Anubis, they need to tighten up their dives and make sure that it is actually orchestrated well. That's exactly what we saw from them. They improved it by tenfolds compared to their previous games. It's super impressive to see, and you know, as you said, Sideshow is pretty much mainly down to Linkser being able to step up on both Genji and Tracer, playing them to such a high level. So really impressive stuff, and once again, I'm right.
Yeah, I love it. Brendan, you're right, and we got one more play for you guys real quick. Let's take a look back at Blizzard World. Here's the final push coming in. Houston Outlaws, total control of the map. How did they get the job done here?
Yeah, again, it's just like realistically off the back of Linkser's raw mechanical skill to open up a lot of these team fights. But I think Valiant were really uncertain on Blizzard World. And I've seen a lot of teams very uncertain on Blizzard World in particular because it's such a new map in the hero pool. A lot of teams seem uncertain. And I looked at Valiant's previous play when they played against Seoul. Again, they lost to Seoul on Blizzard World as well because they seem like they don't really know where to set up on particular sections of the map. They get caught out of position quite often whenever there's a dive attempt going on to them. So Valiant need to look in the future at least shaping up their Blizzard World sort of strategies.
They only got to practice point A this time as well.
It's a bit unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, you never know what they would have done on BLC.
Ouch. All right, well, we did see the Sombra from KSF. Maybe that's a hero to look forward to from him in the future. We know at the half, it's all Houston Outlaws. Nepal, Junkertown still to go. We know Houston's great at Junkertown, so if you're Valiant, Who steps it up? How do you get the win today, Sideshow?
I mean, I think if you're going to win on Nepal and Junkertown, they've got to have insane performances coming out from agilities on the Junkrat, or if he's playing Roadhog in some of these compositions, or Soon just has to go brutal and wreck Linkser. They need insane individual performance to overcome this, because they should have been winning in the first half, and now that they're not, they're in a really big hole.
All right, we'll see who does the Valiant play today. 2 more maps at least. We're hoping for a Game 5. Don't go anywhere. Week 4 continues when we return.
Overwatch League and T-Mobile are teaming up to give you the power to help choose the league's first MVP. Cast your vote on Twitter now by using hashtag OWLMVP in your player's battle tag.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Houston Outlaws have a 2-0 lead over the LA Valiant. Wait a second. That is the score, right? Right? Oh, okay, all right. I had to make sure because of what happened earlier. I want to apologize to the Shanghai Dragons. They did take a map from the Boston Uprising. And I could say that there's too many numbers and it was bound to happen. But honestly, these sunglasses, wearing them indoors, it makes us a little bit demented, doesn't it, guys? It really does. Anyways, guys, Houston, they're up 2-0. And like Monty and Doa said, they really need this map, not only for the stage playoffs, but for the overall playoffs. As we're getting close to the end of the season, the picture's starting to be painted. They need this win. Same for the LA Valiant. They are in danger of going on a 2-game skid. It is match point. Houston, can the LA Valiant, can they pull out the reverse sweep and get back into this? They seem to think so, so let's go ahead and hop back into the second half with our casters, Monty and Doa.
All right, thank you, Malik. So, Monty, I wanted to ask you, on a scale of like 0 to Monty, how, like, fire and harsh is it to sit between two Valiant scores and then ask them what the score is when their team is down 0-2?
You know, I think it's not too badly. I'm just glad that today was the day we gave the sunglasses out to the LA fans because it makes it harder to watch the Valiant lose. So
you can still see the tears coming down from behind.
Oh,
the
I
glasses,
can.
Hey, we live here too, guys. Well, Soon's coming in for Bunny. And another sub, Agility's back in for KSF. So switching things up as Valiant looks to get a little bit of a comeback started here on Nepal.
And this is a place where the comeback can start. The question is, will they be able to dislodge Houston on Jakertown? That's the real test.
Yeah.
But we've seen the Soon and Agility's combo do well here on Nepal. They like to run things like Pharah, Tracer on Shrine, so it is a bit different than we typically see a lot of teams doing.
True enough. It is kind of funny when you look at that fourth map, too. You're kind of like rolling the dice when you play against Houston. Are you going to get a map like Junkertown that they're incredible on, or are you going to get a map like Route 66 that they are awful on? And
yeah.
Today, Valiant drew the short straw, and so they'll be going to Junkertown after this one. So even if you do win this map, even if you do take Nepal, it just doesn't get any easier. I could see us getting to a Game 5, though.
It would be a Herculean effort, but it's
I'm
not
an
like
optimist, Monte Cristo.
It's not like the Outlaws have never lost. They did, in fact, lose earlier this stage against Boston on Junkertown, so it is a possibility. Houston's going to be coming in with Linkser on the McCree because they are expecting potentially that Pharah to appear. It will not, however, as they go for Genji Tracer on the side of the Valiant.
Indeed. Linkser well equipped, though, with that McCree. Nice shot there onto Soon. Nearly got the second headshot to finish him off, but just good zoning. It's a lot of mid-range damage. It's going to force a dive out of Valiant. That's going to force Fate to go way in. Gets the health back, but can't stay alive. Nice kill from Coolmat onto this one. And that's going to be the Houston Outlaws probably claiming this point first. Yeah, they will.
There's been just something slightly off about the Valiant today.
Sure
Their
has.
dives have been just ever so slightly mistimed, as you see when Fate comes in. He nearly died on the initial engagement, barely lived with the help of that health back. And Houston, they know exactly what they're going to be doing. Simply falls back, picks up the kill, and caps the point.
I wonder if it's almost that Valiant is playing a little bit too predictably here with those dives. We'll see. They're going again. This time they've got the Dragon Blade. This time it's working out a little bit better. Doesn't get the kill on Bonnie, but he does get Raucous. That's the only one, though. Now Linkser comes back with a dead eye onto Soon, and Agility is picked off by the McCree as well. They do flip the point, but Houston right back on it with the man advantage.
Yeah, Costa, though, gets the wings a little bit later,
mercy.
is getting hit by Linkser, and he'll be sniped across the map.
Yeah, he's going to pay for it with his life, but getting rid of the Mercy on the other side is certainly worth it, you'd think. Soon the only one holding the point for now. Pulse Bomb comes in. They're going to get a bit of damage done here. Kareev down, and Houston bringing this point back in a hurry. So Houston, it looks like as soon as they've got space and agilities to contend with, and a Fate actually in the Primal Rage too, so Valiant may get a good amount of percentage. In fact, they're going to actually surpass the Outlaws with this hold.
Valiant did a fantastic job of dragging this fight out, and it looks like they may now even win. Costa gonna get chunked by a Pulse Bomb, but not killed, and Agilities, as he returns to the fold, is gonna pick up the majority of these kills, so that's a massive win for the Valiant.
Well, Bonnie tried to get the res onto Muma as well, and he got knocked out of it by Space too on the Diva, and it's just a great hold, like you said, for Valiant. And they've got a couple ultimates to work with. Well, they've got agilities anyway. Should have some more fairly soon.
A fantastic use of the Primal Rage by Fate, just to stall.
Yeah.
And make sure that his team was going to be able to get back, not giving up the fight. And you get extra lucky, not only getting the percent for that entire time, but holding on to it for even longer.
Soon down, Lynx are able to fight him off. Agilities with the Dragon Blade. He's going to need to have another good one if they're going to hold on to the point here. A little bit low, down to 100 health. Takes a bit more. Waiting for it, gets the healing finally. He's got to deal with Jake in the back lines, though. Back onto the point, though, Houston goes, building up a lot of ultimates here. That's a Transcendence used on for Kareev on the Valiant side. Agility is backing away now. Fate going deep along with Soon, trying to get the zone onto Coolmat. Muma pops that Primal Rage. And Houston Outlaws still on the outside looking into this one. Oh, Muma down. In fact, both Winstons out of it here. Linkser pops a Deadeye. I believe he did get the DMEC. Yeah, Coolmat down via Soon anyway.
We're going to be brought back up, and now it's Linkser posted on the point, but they still haven't capped. It's 99% for the Valiant.
I mean, there's a lot of members of Valiant around to keep delaying this one. They've got 99%. If they lose Kareev, But if they can just hold on a little bit longer and push people back, and that's going to be a good start to take out Linkser like that. Muma with no support. He's down. They couldn't keep him healed. Still in overtime, and Agilities can put this round away with the Dragon Blade if he gets in there, and he does. On to Bonnie, getting the kill on Narakis as well, and that should be the exclamation point on the end of this sentence as Valiant lock up the first objective. That's going to be Shrine going their way.
Finally, the Valiant pulling it together when it comes to their teamwork. First dive was a bit sloppy. They give up 30%, but they don't fall back afterwards. Their ult sequencing good. The Primal Rage from Fate, particularly impactful, and that steals them quite a bit of percent on that point. So well done by the Valiant. We are going to be heading into Sanctum next.
You know, it is worth mentioning that both teams come into this match 4 and 3 on Nepal. So same records for the Valiant and Houston, both with winning records on this map, in fact. So this is one of those ones that you really could see going either way, and that's exactly what Valiant needs right now. Need to win this one, put themselves in a position to force a tie on Junkertown. They're going to try to get the 2-0 on Nepal, though, as we go on to Sanctum.
Both of these teams like to run these mirrored compositions. Space and Coolmat will flex onto the Roadhog, while Jake and Linkser will play the Widowmaker opposite Soon and Agilities on the Junkrat. So this is a interesting... Oh, wow.
Oh, there it is. Oh, Soon! And Linkser would make 3. Can he get it? Muma res by Bonnie in the meantime. Uh-oh. Oh. Kariv got pulled off by Muma, actually. The halt bringing the Zen down into the pit. Houston Outlaws trying to fight for this one. Some damage going on to Fate, but they've gotten a little bit of healing there for him.
And it's just a 2v3. Soon it's a shooting gallery for him unless Jake can get over him, and he's not going to get there in time.
Soon jumps across, grapples to safety, and that's going to be Valiant claiming the point first.
Soon really opening that point up in favor of the Valiant, and because he had that position where he couldn't be contested, it was only 2 members on the point for the Houston Outlaws. The percent will start to build early for LA.
Yep. Outlaws trying to charge back onto this point, and you know, we know Sanctum can be one of the tougher ones to take if you are the attackers. Linkser's still looking for those shots on the side. On board with Soon right now, though. Doesn't really want to take that Widow v Widow just yet. Jake gets the kill on the opposing Junkertown, the opposing Junkrat. Agilities gets res, though.
And they're still looking for an opportunity.
Yep.
Infrasight has been used by Linkser, but they can't force their way onto the point right now.
Nobody's putting any pressure onto Soon right now, and it's making it really tough to get to the actual control point with the shield down there.
Yeah, you'll notice Soon was just hiding there over the point, and Linkser, even though he was on the flank, couldn't get the angle.
I mean, I'm surprised Linkser isn't going for this fight.
Oh, they just blew space off the side with a whole hog.
Yeah, that's something Houston Outlaws want. Soon just trying to die on point, delay. He's going to go in. That's going to be Houston flipping it. So they finally find an opportunity using that whole hog to take the point.
Yeah, but it took so long, and it took a Valkyrie. It took a whole hog. Fate will be late to die. Getting staggered there by Jake. Will be brought back up.
Yep. All right, and you know, I almost feel like we've been seeing Linkser avoid the Widow 1v1s on this map. He didn't even want to take that one against Soon, but when you're getting picks like that, you need to.
And remember, there's no resurrection on cooldown right now.
True.
Because Fate died early, so this will be a death that sticks.
But now he's looking for it. Soon being evasive. Soon went ahead and used the Infrasight too. Jake coming in with the tire here. Oh, the tire taken down. It's going to pop the Valkyrie. In fact, Valiant using both of their support ultimates to try to stay alive. They're guiding the Rip Tire in. And he kills from that one. No, not quite. Houston charging back. But Space used that whole hog. And Linkser, meanwhile, set up with some pretty good shots with that Widowmaker. Both Zenyatta's feeling it. Now he's going to go for the 1v1. And shots miss. Looking for it a little bit more. Close range Widow. You don't see this happen every day.
Soon just running around the pillar right now. What? He just left.
Oh, Soon. Oh, he got pulled off the edge. Muma got him with the halt. Oh, what an anticlimactic end to that one.
The ring around the pillar, ultimately a failure.
All right, meanwhile, the action on the point. Let's check that one out again. Coolmat, of course. Usually we see him on the Diva over on the Roadhog right now, and turns just in time to see the Widowmaker fall to her death. Whatever you say, Linkser.
So Houston now sitting with a supercharger. Valiant has no ultimates for what will be the last fight.
Yep. 90% for Houston. They're getting so close to tying this Nepal map up. Taking a very defensive point right now. Oh, they pull in Jake, though. Valiant going in on the 6v5, but they're going to have to do it at 99%. Linkser needs some big picks here. Oh, and he gets Soon. He gets Fate as well. Supercharger down, and that's going to be Houston claiming the point. They just juggled people until they got it.
They did. The whole hog bought them the space they needed, and meantime, Custa couldn't fly over because he was resurrecting Soon. And that means the point ticks over to 100 and ties us up on Nepal.
A huge chance for the Houston Outlaws now as we go towards Village, our final point on Nepal to win this map and win the series. You know, again, the personal story for this team, you know, they were 4-0'd by LA Valiant in stage number 2. Now, here in stage 3, a chance to do the same thing in reverse if they win this map. They'll get the opportunity on a great map for them on Junkertown.
And look at what the Houston Outlaws are doing. This is a strategy that's been run by the Dallas Fuel, actually, using the Mei and the Junkrat together. And this is particularly punishing if you think the opponent is going to be running a Pharah here, but they're not. Soon is going to match with a Reaper.
I don't think anyone was expecting the Mei, though, to come out for Outlaws. We'll see if it works. Coming around the corner here, both teams running with, almost a triple tank. Mei sort of counts anyway. There's a wall. Probably just going to deny them as soon as they try to come in. Yep, they
catch.
Oh, they split him off. They split Space off, but he saved his charge. That was smart to get away. Kareev, though, not so lucky. Jake gets that one, and it's going to be Houston with the control percent building first. Nice split onto Fate. Oh, that's what you get. That's what you get, Mei. I mean, yeah, you know, it's a moral victory, right? But Houston's still holding it.
Doa really releasing his inner rage at Mei.
I have some personal issues with Mei to work out, I guess.
Now's not the time for them, Doa. Now's not the time for them.
Sometimes he plays Zenyatta and she just comes, you can't get away. You can't kill her fast enough. She's got the dumb ice block. All right. I've been playing a lot of Mei lately, but it still makes me feel good to see that. I'm sorry. Hater of Mei. I'll have to add that to that Reddit bio. There we go. Tyre doesn't get anything. Agility's over on the Pharah now.
Now, this is a strategy that hasn't worked well for teams trying to play this against the Dallas Fuel because you get walled out of the point as the Pharah.
Yeah, I mean, you think you're making it even tougher on yourself to go with the Pharah now.
The real difference, though, is that when Dallas plays it, they run it with Roadhog, where if you try and get down on the angle to shoot the rockets in, you can also get hooked. And that's obviously not happening here. So that's a pretty important difference.
Whoa, sometimes you just get roasted from long range, too. Rockets comes in with the Coalescence. Wilmat taking down Custa. So Houston Outlaws has a big edge on the point right now. They're actually going to chase a little bit, see if they can track down Soon. Fate a little bit on his own. Lynx are going for it, man.
He's going for the long...
Oh, they get Fate too, actually. That's a nice delay.
I mean, Soon has been pushed all the way back towards the Houston spawn.
That's where Fate was.
Yeah, it's where Fate was. It's where Soon still is, lurking with a pulse bomb.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's optimistic, but hey, if you can hit him, go for it, you know?
Soon's still back there. A sound barrier going to be up with a Earth Shatter here on the side of the Outlaws. Valiant will rely on the Pulse Bomb and the Barrage.
Oh, he got stuck.
Great stick.
Yeah, that was a big one. Valiant needed to get that kill. Agility's down, though. It's still a 5v5, but Houston without their Reinhardt, and he had his ultimate. Cool Matt gets two somehow now. Kills the Pharmacy, and the Blizzard for Linkser on the point, pushing them out. They barely get OT to work. Can anyone protect themselves from the self-destruct? It looks like they can. Space down, Raucus pulls out the Coalescence again, and Soon down via that self-destruct. Houston Outlaws just needs a bit more, and they will take it. They win Nepal, and they will win this match as well. One map to go, but they've got 3 map wins.
They have it, Doa. They've won the series already, and they have a chance to win a 4-0. They need these maps. They need these wins to make the stage playoffs, but it has really been all Houston Outlaws tonight. I love seeing the fact that this strategy the Dallas Fuel developed on Village is now starting to make its rounds.
No. What was that? When we get back, we'll find out. See ya.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
there's going to be that additional pressure here to stand up and get the job done.
You really see teams pushing each other to a higher level.
How do you continue this momentum right now?
It's like a marathon, you know, you got to be ready to go the distance.
When people talk about history, I want to be in that discussion.
It is something that takes an incredible amount of skill to be the best at.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League, guys. You know, I bet a lot of people thought LA was going to take the win today, but you know what, Monte Cristo?
What,
They Valiant.
This is awful.
Sorry. You bring sunglasses to the studio, what do you think is going to happen, all right? What do you think? I can't see now at all, by the way. These are not prescription sunglasses. Where's can't see anything.
Oh boy. Well, please don't cast the next match like that. It may make it quite difficult for us.
I won't.
All right.
There we
That's
go.
good.
As far as I got that past my headset. There you go. Worked out.
Worked out at
that
the
bit
end.
was successful. Wonderfully executed.
Well, some of us did actually predict the Houston Outlaws to win today. I don't know.
I did not actually.
Yeah. Can you remind me what happened on Watchpoint?
Well, Matt and I predicted the Valiant to take it, and they were looking good, but. See, I had not quite closely examined the map pool when I made that prediction, and maybe if I had done that, I may have chosen something a bit different. But no, I'm going to stick with it, man.
You're going to stick with it?
I have to. I can't change it now. It's actually too late.
It's definitely too late.
no, I always thought Houston was going to take it. Well, guys, it actually only gets tougher for Valiant from here because Houston is now finding themselves on their best map in this series. They are 7-1 on Junkertown, Jakertown, as everyone calls it right now, and it's a well-deserved name for how well Houston has done on it.
And it's not because the Houston Outlaws have shown a lot of looks. They typically play Raucus, as you see right now, on the Roadhog on defense. They typically play him on Bastion on their attack rounds, but it's because their execution is so good. They full hold most of the opponents that they have. We've seen them on their attack rounds win the entire map in something like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
It gets pretty ridiculous, so it generally isn't a close affair when Houston is there, unless it's the Boston Uprising, who managed to deal them their sole loss on Junkertown.
And Lynx are taking the sneaky widow position that's become pretty popular here, coming around the side. Ooh, almost got that shot on the Kareev on the Bastion, but and back it off for a second.
Kareev also runs the Bastion like Raucus does, typically, but he's done some interesting stuff, like if the Bastion isn't working, he's actually switched over to the Hanzo, and they've run a double sniper with the Junkrat. So they have had some flexibility. Have to keep your heads up for that.
Hey, counter sniper extraordinaire. Lynxer finds the kill onto Soon. Soon, of course, res right away by Custa, and that payload keeps rolling forward here, but here's where you expect to try to hold if you're Houston. Shield taken out. Kareev on the Bastion, but he's not on the payload, actually. Oh, and that's a big hook. Agility's down, though. They weren't able to finish off Fate, but they did enough. Now Houston back on the point again, and I think Valiant may be in a little bit of trouble. They've got the respawns coming in, though. Whoa!
There's a nice couple of kills, though, and the resurrection onto Lynxer may not help very much because Lynxer is not going to be able to stop the cart. Meanwhile, Banny going to pop the wings early, but it's only him, Raucus, and Lynxer alive, and now even less than that.
Yeah, Valiant making some real progress here. Banny tries to slow down the payload a little bit, trying to duck and weave, trying to dodge. Oh, but he finally can't get away, and Kareev finishes him off. And it looks like it will be a fairly fast point A for Valiant. And, we did talk about Houston already winning the series, but with where they are in the Stage 3 standings, they really do want to get a 4-0 if they can.
Yeah, and it also, as we go look into the larger overall season playoffs, because Houston Outlaws has had a good map win record due to their extended win streak earlier in the season, they really can push that advantage even further against anyone they would be tied with.
Yeah, very true. Custa picked off by Raucus. Somehow got that headshot. Bonnie does bring Jake back. So Houston with a bit of an edge here. They've gotten a little bit of time to set up defensively. Now they're going to get more as Kareev is down. He's got the ultimate. I wonder if he's going to stick with it or swap. We'll see. Fate gets taken out. Oh, there's two with Space is self-destruct, but not really a big way for them to capitalize on it. But as I say that, suddenly Jake, the only one left from Houston, and that payload is moving.
Self-destruct punishing them as Houston move forward to clean up more of those kills. Space saves that for the Valiant.
Yeah, he really
and now they're going to get a lot of payload movement as a result. Not going to be an easy way for the Houston to defend here as they head towards the end of point B.
So can Valiant take this without having to dedicate a lot of ultimates? You're going to use the configuration tank anyway. That was part of the plan, and they're actually going to go ahead and pop the other ones too. Bonnie caught by that rip tire. Agility's down as well. Houston fighting as best they can. But so far, so good for Valiant here. The res comes in on Agilities, and it's only Jake once more, and that's going to be point B taken for Valiant. So Outlaws reeling a little bit. Now it's 5 minutes on the clock for Valiant to take point C.
Yeah, Valiant may have already lost this series, but they certainly haven't rolled over and given up here on Junkertown. They are rocketing through this map.
Yeah, no kidding. Bonnie down as well, so that's going to be more momentum for Valiant. No mercy on the side of Houston for a few more seconds. And with as fast as Houston tends to win their attacks on this map, if Valiant keeps rolling like this, we may be in for a pretty high-scoring Junkertown. Could be cool. Here comes a Riptire. Whoa! Trying to find somebody. No, we don't quite do it. Agilities gets the Riptire.
Kareev is now going to be chased off. Now is the time where Kareev needs to switch back to the Zenyatta.
Yep.
It's not going to be enough cover for this Bastion any longer to make good use of him. He's going to switch over now, so waiting right until the respawn timer came through. Space the self-destruct, but otherwise Valiant going to be seeing a minor reset.
Yeah. And Houston really needed a break too. Wait for it, trying to thread the needle here. Oh, nice jump actually. Went right over the crosshairs. Shot came in onto Agilities. Raucus actually finishes off soon. So the Widow down either way. That's going to be Houston pushing forward now. So they've got a little bit of a numbers advantage at the moment.
Linkser wants to push up onto the low ground, see if he can get anybody coming directly out of the spawn. He's still here. He wants this battle, and soon he's going to win it.
You know, a lot of people this week, as Linkser escapes us on a lot of people this week, you know, us included on Watchpoint, talking about how Linkser's stats in the Widow v Widow matchup have been dropping lately. But today, I feel like he's trying to turn those numbers around.
Well, I think he knows that he hasn't been as on point in this matchup. And you're right, Joe. You caster cursed him. Good job.
I did. I'm sorry, Linkser. Overall, though, honestly, his Widow v Widows look better today. Jake kills soon with the Riptire. But it is a topic of conversation when you're talking about Linkser. Fate down. They've got the Valkyrie used by Custa right now. Gets pushed back, though. It's still going to be Houston holding. About 3 minutes remaining now as Jake gets rezzed up by Bonnie.
So they've taken a couple minutes off the clock already, and this payload hasn't moved much of anywhere in point C.
So finally, Houston getting a hold.
And finally, Valiant going to be changing Agilities onto the Genji. Fate over on the Winston.
Soon still on the Widow, though. You do generally want to run that if your name is Soon. And that's why. As soon as I said Linkser was doing better in the Widow v Widow, that's 2 kills for Soon in a row in that Mortal Kombat matchup. Houston retreating down to the low ground. They've got to worry about the self-destruct a little bit there. Yeah. Space back in the mech again. They get the res in on the Fate. Trying to find a way to work their way onto the point here. Coolmat taken out, but the self-destruct comes in. No kills from that one, though.
Riptire coming out now, trying to save this, but Soon will say no. Point blank shot.
No kidding. Great shot by Soon to be ready for that one coming in. And now finally, maybe the payload will get rolling, but Houston's still got a good amount of people on there. Oh, right into the trap. The reflect, it's not enough though, and Houston gets the kill onto Agilities. Now trying to deal with Fate and Custa.
They went a little bit too deep there, trying to hassle Linkser because there was never anyone with control over the payload on the side of the Valiant.
Yeah. You notice Raucus not putting his Orb of Transcendence onto Coolmat. Despite Coolmat being really low, he wanted to give all that healing over to Bonnie to build up to the Valkyrie. Raucus already sitting on his Transcendence right now. Neat little thing to note there.
Indeed. Just making sure they are maximizing
the
uptime of their support ultimates.
That's right. All right, Valiant coming in with a vengeance. They've got a minute left about. They want to get some distance on the payload here. Would not be good if it got stopped. Right now, Coolmat demeched, and now the blade comes in. Agilities, nothing. Jake gets him with the tire. And so they've only lost that mech. Rockets did have to use that Transcendence, though. But Houston still has a few ultimate fuels. Oh, Linkser on the run. Trying to find him out. Custa gets him. Whoa. Chase down. You thought you could chase the Mercy, but the Mercy was chasing you.
Wow, just lurking in the windows, firing with that pistol.
Yeah, Space got demeched though, so tank problems again for Valiant. They've had a hard time keeping Fate and Space alive on these pushes.
That was fantastic by Costa. Actually, that sequence of events is going to result in a little bit of payload movement, but that may be the end of the line. Kareev will get staggered here.
I mean, he
by
found
Jake.
himself way behind enemy lines, and that's just tough for Valiant now. They're going to have to maybe fight the 6v5 just to get on the point. 10 seconds left. Kareev back to life right now, but he's Zen. He's going to slowly float over there. But if he gets there, he's going to have the Transcendence.
I mean, Fate has Primal, so they can definitely contest this card for a while. Fate's going to jump in first to try and buy some time. Does take a shot on his way in.
Oh, he's lucky they didn't dive him. He had like 30% health remaining. Space already demeched, and Muma gets a kill onto the Diva. Now Fate goes ahead and uses that Primal Rage, gets the kill onto Bonnie. That's pretty big, actually. Self-destruct finds agility, so Valiant does not want that, as they're losing a few people here. Soon just trying to keep the payload alive right now, and Muma trying to force Custa back. Meanwhile, Kumat gets the kill into Soon, and they can't get back to the payload. That's going to be the hold for Houston. It went all the way to the middle of point C, but in the end, Valiant can't quite get 3 points.
Yeah, Houston knew what was coming when it came to the ultimates, and they fell back to give some room to the payload, but it resulted in a one fight. Don't need to all in right now. If you're Houston, you should be confident in your abilities on Junkertown to make it halfway through point C. A little bit of extra meterage on the payload won't really matter.
Meterage?
Meterage, it's like yardage, but we can't use that.
I suppose. Footage?
Well, it's
meters in the game,
It's
I guess.
meters in the game.
Sure.
So we have a metric game here.
Inches? I guess
It's a game of centimeters.
I guess so. Well, it's also a game of Junkrats. So it could be a game of throws in a way, in that you throw the grenades at people. I don't know.
You shoot them, you don't throw it.
That's
You
a bit
throw
of a
the
reach.
mines. You throw the mines.
I guess. Even
you throw
I
the
admit
pulse bombs.
That was a reach. That was a reach. Valiant only reaching that far. It points. I'm sorry. I'm done for the day after this one. I promise. So Houston only needs to get it halfway through point C to complete the 4-0 here. And knowing how good these guys are on this map, again, they are 7-1 coming into this map. Valiant was 5-3. You know, numbers-wise, you have to give Houston the edge. Tricky trap for agilities.
Seeing if anybody is going to make it in front of that column. Might be a little bit hard to expect somebody to step directly there, but also unseen and have that advantage. Houston probably will switch Raucus to the Bastion. As I say that, and Jake over to the Junkrat. I don't imagine he will be sticking with this Zarya.
Probably not. It'd be interesting. Hasn't changed yet. Soon takes a hit. Has to back away. Jake's still on that Zarya. Wow, they may be going for this.
So what he did was he gave Linkser a shield to allow Linkser to peek versus Soon and try and force Soon's death and a resurrection, and then went back and swapped. That's actually very clever.
Okay, I like that. I was wondering if he was going to use it to maybe put a shield onto a Raucus to make sure he got situated on the point, but I like the shield on the Widowmaker too. That is a clever little trick.
Yeah, it just gives you just a chance to get an aggressive peek. Maybe that Widow will die in a place where you can't get rezzed. If she doesn't, at least you force the res.
I love those little variations like that. That's so cool. Meanwhile, Raucus forcing the building. He's got his shield though. Houston trying to push forward. They have been pretty successful on a lot of these attacks. I should not have said that. Might have cast or cursed him. And yep, exactly. Yeah, cool Matt, D-Mac, there goes Bonnie. Yeah, I knew it as soon as I said it. I'm sorry, Houston. I'm sorry.
Why are you so good at this,
I don't know. I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that.
So Agility's using the Riptire there all the same. Reeve will be walking back over to the payload. Resurrection for Soon right now to bring the Valiant back up to full strength.
All right, 2:30 on the clock about for the Houston Outlaws. Still trying to push forward with that Bastion too.
Yeah, they want to charge up the Riptire if they can now.
It's the plan. Soon looking for shots. Really has it inside. Oh, hello. Finds Linkser. Gets a shot there. Ooh, Linkser really low. Has to run out. Space there to finish him down. Finish him off, rather. Bonnie wants some revenge. He's got to run. Oh, he uses Valkyrie, too. Oh, man, that's rough. Cussed a little bit low. Kareev drops that whole hog just to push Houston back. There's a Riptire somewhere. It finds Fate. And there's Jake in the room, in the, well, trap for Kareev, but Jake down already. So Valiant holding this one really well. Under 2 minutes now for Houston to try to finish point A.
Yeah, the issue for the Valiants is they used a later Valkyrie. So when we come into this next fight, they're not going to have any support ults by virtue of them only running one support, and they have to try and play into an Infrasight and the tank form from Raucus. So danger level very high right now for the Valiant.
I would say so. Configuration tank. Oh, and there goes Soon. Linkser with a bit of revenge in the Widow v Widow.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to res that either.
No. Oh, Space might take some damage. No, couldn't. He got back in the mech. There's a nice kill for Agilities, or on Agilities rather, from Raucus. Raucus backing away. Oh, he's right into the trap, but Houston's getting all the kills, so he should be safe.
And it's just Kareev in space now.
That's
no
it.
supports remaining.
So that's probably going to be point A then. Kareev just getting staggered a bit. He's going to get the D-Mech onto Coolmat. Coolmat trying to stay alive, staying near the mech. He actually tried to chase him down. We know Coolmat is deadly with that blaster. And Houston is all dead. Soon killed everybody.
Soon was refiring from the high ground while that engagement was going on. So it was about the tanks from the Valiant just buying time. And this is the perfect time for Soon to come in. Tries to get behind the shield by using that sentry mode. Doesn't manage to make it work, and there's Jake's tire shot out. So now
that's huge.
Valiant might full hold.
Supercharger time too. They've got that extra damage. Houston's scrambling now. They've got 25 seconds about remaining. And there's a hook onto Jake. Kareev with a big one there. A nice shot. Linkser set up, and Soon shot him down. Valiant holding strong, and they may yet come away with this with a map win on this one. What a stagger now onto Coolmat. That is devastating. They even use a halt to hold him. Oh, and the hook. That is a massive stagger. He's not even going to be back before overtime. I don't know if Outlaws can get to this one.
Jake is trying to run on Sombra, but he just he touches it barely.
Well, he got there with the translocator. Can anyone else get there? Bonnie tries. He goes in.
Throw the bodies at the cart.
That's right. Let the Bonnies hit the cart. Let the Bonnies hit the cart. Sorry. Valiant gets one map win out of this one, so they will come away with a 1-3. A 3-1 victory, though, for the Houston Outlaws.
Wow, we won't be using that one again, but fantastic job by the Valiant, especially coming into basically Houston's best map and then full holding them on it. Yeah. Making something out of this series, but it still is an Outlaws win.
No kidding, and what a win it was. Like, the defensive efforts by the Outlaws have just been incredible to watch develop, and yeah, it was a great set of maps for a team with a great Junkrat, and in the end, the Houston Outlaws keep themselves alive in the playoff race, I believe, too, with that.
Yeah, the stage playoffs. It's going to be really hard for them to make it. They can probably take one loss at most, but that loss is not going to come today.
Hey, their fate is in their own hands at this point. A 3-1 victory for the Houston Outlaws, guys. When we come back, the desk breaks that one down, and then one more match of Overwatch here at the Overwatch League. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that right after this.
Okay, sure, car. Escorted. I got the mech, I'm going to
keep backing up. Back up, Linkser.
Leave his dead.
Monkey on me, monkey on hands.
I got a trap here. It's gonna get. I get monkey. I lost my car. I can help a car soon.
Nice, where you up?
Send in banana. Tracer on car. Mercy one. Mercy lower.
Okay.
I'm cutting monkey. Zen still in banana. Tracer's one.
Texas card if you can.
Monkey up. Nice.
It's a big hold.
Nice.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
joined by Bonnie from the Houston Outlaws. So, of course, first of all, congratulations to you and your team for this victory. Now, earlier today, we actually got to listen to your comms a little bit, and something stood out to me. You guys were yelling Texas hard, all right? So I was just kind of wondering, what's that all about? What does that mean?
Yeah, so when there's a lot of communication going off, it's really hard to kind of focus on everything. So we have like these trigger words, you know, that are like very clear. So we say Texas to regroup. Texas means regroup. So we like, you know, say Texas point, Texas cart, something like that. And it kind of like triggers in everyone's mind that they really have to do that.
All right, so you basically invented a secret language.
Yes, yeah, essentially. We have a couple other words. We'll keep those secret though.
All right, fair enough. We now know what Texas means, so that's enough for me tonight. Looking ahead on your schedule coming up, how likely do you think it's going to be for you guys to actually make it to the playoffs, as you're still in contention?
I think there's a solid chance. We had a really tough first 2 weeks. We always do, and I think we finally like come out of our slump this stage. So I think it's looking up. We're still gonna have to work on things, you know, like we gotta refresh our Drunker Town. Kind of been letting that slide, I guess, but you know, we have a good chance, I think.
All right, well, that's a promise from Bonnie. Thank you so much for joining me here for a quick chat. And of course, once again, give it up for this young man and his team. What a lovely performance on this stage. So let's break down the action with the guys on the desk.
Thank you. So keep it going for Bonnie. He's a support player. They don't get the love they deserve. Excellent interview there, and we learned a little bit about Texas here, guys. So Houston Outlaws coming in and making Bren look smart today. We got Bren, we got Sideshow. Sideshow's sadder than Bren. Bren, let's get right into it.
Predictable about that.
It was completely predictable. I gave very good reasonings as to why Houston were going to take that one, but you were just sat there like, no, it's got to be LA Valiant, isn't it?
That's exactly what I sound like.
I heard him say that.
Like.
They didn't win at Anubis until today here in Stage 3. The odds were against Bren, but Houston gets the win. And let's take a look at the final moments here of Game 3 where they sealed the deal.
Yeah, so interesting little strategy. We've seen it a few times now from a select few teams, but Houston bringing out the May Wall strategy. The beauty of this strategy being that you can use the May Wall to segregate one part of this map, one section of the point, and get those early picks that you need. So in that particular section, they were using the May Wall throughout the entire match. It didn't really catch players off guard, but they were using it to break line of sight between the supports and the front line. So effectively winning out these team fights by essentially making it a 2v4 in some scenarios, just by using that May Wall. Very intelligent.
As we look back at both maps here, I'd love to keep the May conversation going because May was brought out by Linkser, your star DPS player. When do you risk putting him on a low DPS hero like May, as opposed to the Genji, the Tracer, even the Widowmaker?
I think you can put him on a huge range of heroes, I think. When Jake is playing the Junkrat, you already get all the damage output you need and the playmaking potential that he perhaps can't quite offer when he's playing the Tracer, for example. So at that point, you're able to flex Linkser over. This play I love because they're using the Moira Beam to be able to take down the Pharah Mercy combo. With the help of Coolmat, who dives up in the air, they take down the Pharah Mercy with a tank composition that normally you wouldn't expect to be able to challenge that pharmacy. So that's a great little, a tiny play that you might be able to take into ranked or something like that.
Absolutely. If you're in gold or platinum, please look up in the sky and shut down the forest. Don't just ignore. Here's a look, though, at Junkertown. This is the one map that you said, Houston's got it in the bag, Bren. This is their best. They win it 88% of the time. Not today. They didn't even get point A.
Again, like, I mean, even Banny said in an interview, they let their Junkertown slip a little bit. And teams do get complacent once they've won the series like this. You see it very often, and then essentially it was a bit weird. It's like opposite day, you know? The roles were reversed a little bit in there.
Yes, and I think it's kind of opposite day that Houston Outlaws came away with the victory as well. But that is just me being salty at the end of the day. And LA Valiant, you know, they put up a good fight, but Houston Outlaws came here to win it. And I got to give it to you, Bren. You were right with this one. You look like such an idiot on those glasses.
Thank you. Yeah, so, I mean, my new spectacles coming in handy. They're very good as well, in fact, at drinking the tears of the LA Valiant fans. So, Okay, a little bit. That's about 4,000% of my daily sodium intake there, so I'm gonna have to take these off. That's a little bit too much. Oh gosh.
I added.
Your tears are flirting everywhere.
Tears are going everywhere, mate. I mean, at halftime, I had him, you know, top up the cup a little bit because you were a little bit salty, a little bit upset. You know, woohoo. You know, oh, I got the prediction wrong. That's what he sounds like, you know, in the half. But yeah,
I'm a diva when I'm not
all I can say exactly. is that I was
I'm going to
corrected
stop
in.
them from talking, and I'm going to show you something awesome. It's your player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. Today, who's the guy? It's Linkser. He did it all, bringing out the Genji to open things up. Hot on Anubis. You saw the Widowmaker on Blizzard World. You, of course, seen the Mei as well. Is there anything this man can't run?
No, I don't. I'm not sure whether there is. There are very few players who can play all of these heroes to the level that Linkser can. I would say his Tracer still isn't kind of star level, but he did put up a really good performance running it on Anubis, actually. Got the better end of Soon a couple of times, able to get really clutch picks on the LA Valiant backline. So he really can play it all at the moment. He was going through a little slump. I feel like he rides the momentum of the team, but now that Houston are back, so is Linkser.
Above 17% crit accuracy once again. Linkser always looking for those headshots. 27 total limbs coming in on that last stat card. That is it for our second match. A big one today for the Houston Outlaws. They stay in the hunt for our Stage 3 playoffs. Coming up next, though, we're going to see Dallas and Florida, two squads at the bottom that are starting to make their way up. Let's take a look at the upcoming battle on the second side of this show. We'll be right back. I lost it.